What's up, y'all? I'm Lady, and welcome to another reading vlog. Happy New Year! I am currently going to various libraries across the city to pick up graphic novels that I placed on hold. And of course, if I go in the library, I still got to check out the shelves, even though I'm just there to pick up some things. I decided that this January will be dedicated to reading graphic novels. I did this before in I think 22, 23, and 24, and I found it very enjoyable to start the new year with some quick reads. But some graphic novels can be pretty in-depth as well. So this is my first stack. I still have others to pick up, but let's get into it. On yesterday, January 1st, 2026, I finished my first book of the year, which is this one, Danielle Allen's Plus Size Player. And I'm counting it as a 2026 read because I pretty much read half the book on yesterday. I had hoped to finish it before the new year, but I didn't, so here we are. Like I said earlier, January will be dedicated to reading graphic novels. That stack I showed you all has been stuffed into my new tote that a friend gave me, and I absolutely love it. I also went to my own bookcase to see what graphic novels I actually own. And these are the two graphic novels that I own. I will add these to the stack because, of course, I got to read my own shelves, right? Considering all of this is from the library, and I have at least 10 more to pick up. But the libraries were closed yesterday. So here we are. I am going to start with Huda F Wants to Know. I absolutely love this series. It is hilarious and just a really good time. So let's get into it. Let's binge on some graphic novels. I finished Huda F Wants to Know in one sitting. She did not disappoint with this being part 3. I will tell you that it did touch on some serious topics of like mental health issues, young girl dealing with being heading into her senior year of high school and her parents divorcing. So just know that. But again, she did not disappoint with the funny and the sarcasm. This is book 3 and it's still a good time. I still recommend this series. Next up, let's read one that is from my shelf, and this is Pride of Baghdad. It has a library binding because I actually purchased this at a library book sale. So let's get into it. I received notification that I had some books available for pickup at the library. So I went in and I dropped off Plus Size Player and Huda F Wants to Know. And I picked up Maybe an Artist and Song of a Blackbird. Here is my graphic novel shelf for the month of January. These are all unread ones. I just finished Pride of Baghdad, and next up is Boy A Graphic Memoir by Walter Dean Myers. I'm really excited to get into that one. I absolutely love the cover. It's a short one, so I'm hoping to finish it tonight. Pride of Baghdad, y'all, this is a sad one, okay? In 2003, when bombs were dropped in Baghdad during the Iraq War, they hit a zoo and these lions were left to roam. And you kind of get like war commentary from these animals' perspective, which was really interesting. I am going to say I enjoyed this one. I'm definitely glad I read it. I didn't know what to fully expect. All you know is it's from the viewpoint of these lions and what they think about, what's going on and their ideas. So, yeah, I liked it. I really did. And it made me sad. So I did sit with it for a good 30 minutes after I finished it and was just like, wow. Yeah. So, on to the next one. It's the next morning, and I am 51 pages into this one. So far, the only thing that it is doing for me is making me want to read the actual memoir, but I'm going to finish this. It is Monday, and I finished Bad Boy on yesterday. I really like this one. And I discovered a lot about Walter Dean Myers that I did not know. The only book by him that I previously read was Monster, and I read the graphic novel adaptation of it as well. But I looked him up, and he has written a lot of children's books and won all the awards. But I loved his story. I am definitely going to read the actual memoir for this one because it left me wanting more, left me wanting to know more detail. I definitely feel like he was very vulnerable and just transparent in this memoir. And that is what I absolutely loved, and that's why I think I want more, because I know that the actual memoir will give more detail. I loved this panel, this series here, in this graphic novel where he talks about his love for reading, and I absolutely love this one. The idea of him having to hide his books in a paper bag. And, if you know how a lot of people who drink and stuff out in public put their liquor in a plastic bag, but he's putting his books there. I just found that, really interesting. Overall, this was just a really good book. He just really goes into details with his struggles, as a kid coming of age. And I really appreciate that one. So I would definitely recommend this one. Next up, I picked up another graphic memoir by Liz Montag, which is maybe an artist. This one was really cute. About a young girl, up until I think she went up until her college years, where she's trying to discover herself and what she wants to be. And that question that kids get all the time about what you want to be when you grow up. And, you really have no idea, but, you give that generic response. I know for me, it was an attorney. I used to always say that. And now I'm so glad that I'm not an attorney. But, her going through, those ages of trying to figure out what is it that she wants to be, and her becoming an artist. I really like this one. Next up, I read Hungry Ghost by Victoria Ying. Now, this book covers a pretty heavy topic of a young girl with an eating disorder. There is also death in the family that takes place in this story. However, I won't say that this was a totally sad story. The way it was written made it feel a little light. Maybe because it's in graphic novel form, but this little girl deals with the pressures from family to be thin, and how she chooses to handle those pressures, and to just be a good girl, to be obedient. And she just constantly struggles with, the thoughts and ideas of how being thin will make you happy and you'll get everything you want. But she definitely finds out that that is not the case. And, it goes through her struggles with her mom, like I said, her relationship with her best friend. And I just really like this one. The art is beautiful. I think this is an important story to tell. So I'm glad it's out there and available for young girls who may have this issue. Let's wrap up this vlog with this last graphic novel here, Hot Comb by Ebony Flowers. This is actually a collection of short stories. They're mostly like, ordinary day-to-day slice of life short stories, and I really liked this one. The art is pretty different. Each story starts with like an advertisement per se, which is really unique. I really enjoyed the art in this one for sure. Being someone who is on a natural hair journey, has been natural since 2009, and also has experience with a hot comb as a little girl, I found a lot of these stories very relatable. Of the 8 short stories here, my favorite one is the titled one, Hot Comb. Big Ma and my little sister Lena was really good. Those are my 3 favorite, I should say, of this one. I'm glad I read this one. And I can't go without showing this one here. Too many of us little black girls knew this very well. That first experience of using a hot comb on your head, and then that first experience of going to the salon and getting your first perm. Oh my goodness. And as you can see in the story, a lot of times music is in here, which makes it very nostalgic. I'm sure the author and I probably grew up around the same time. So I really like that as well about this collection. I knew that I would finish Hot Comb today during lunch, so I brought 2 other graphic novels from my shelf to start. Hot Comb is going to go here in my tote bag with the other graphic novels to be taken back to the library this evening. And I do have some books that's already on the whole shelf that I have to pick up. So I will share what I picked up from the library in my next video. The 2 books that I pulled off my shelf to read next are Speak and Brownstone. I already know that Speak is another one of those graphic novels with a heavy subject, so I am already braced for that. I realize that I have been off camera the entire time of this video, and that will probably continue in my next video. But hey, still stay tuned and drop in the comment section. Give me some more recommendations for graphic novels, just in case I actually run out of books to read in January. And that's it for me in this one, y'all. I'm Lady, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, y'all.